your commitment.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times, you know, it stems from our past experiences. Do we like to shop? I know for my husband and I, my husband's the shopper, and then I just kind of tag along with him, and we buy, and he knows what to buy, and he's the cooker. So I know for me, it's just kind of like I'm interested in the diapers and all the toiletries, and he's good with the food. So I want you to grab your buddy and just kind of talk about grocery shopping and what comes up for you. If it's a good experience, if it's something that stirs some things up for you. Maybe you're not a cooker and you're feeling like flight and fight mode. So we'll just take a few minutes until more people get here, but grab your buddy and grab a Starbucks and
All right, buddy.
The meat and cheese girl.
This is the heart attack aisle. There's a lot of salt or whatever, and you know,
I'm not going to do that. I will in about 3
Okay, guys.
we think it's funny, but it's
Started. So, what's everyone coming up with? Does anyone want to share some of the things that they were sharing?
Their frustration with eating dried apricots because he will not eat fruit. So I just cut up some dried apricots. He thought they were fruit snacks. So.
Yeah. They're nice and chewy and cool.
Amy, what were you saying?
Frustration with unnecessary added ingredients. Like there's a time and a place for added sugar in everything is not it, you know, and trying to find something, you know, options that don't have those other ingredients can be really frustrating when you are paying attention to what you're eating.
Yeah, for sure.
you really have to read the labels on stuff. So
And the more you read, the more I get frustrated because I'm like, why is that in there? It doesn't have to be. But,
yep, it's the sugar.
Who usually does the grocery shopping in the family or in the household?
split.
Do you? Yeah.
In my household, I do, but Mike's an awesome, cleans the house great, so I'm good at that trade-off. That's a better. He can clean the house and I'll cook. So.
Nice. Very good. Well, what are you excited to learn about today? Just curious. Labels.
Oh, interesting. We're gonna do a lot of that.
I'm excited for like
Free and dairy-free. I mean, that's a hard thing for some, so you know that would be.
those like go-to easy type snacks or food that kind of satisfy certain cravings that don't take a lot, and you can make a habit out of keeping those on hand or figuring out how to prepare something simply that you can have available for when you have a weak moment.
Yeah. We do have those moments.
I'd love to talk about some of the additives, especially something like xanthan gum. It's in everything. There's a lot of controversy whether it's good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between. So
That's
some
true.
of those things. Here, exactly. That's the other one. Xanthan gum. Guar gum.
Also, if there's any tricks to make things taste sweet without adding sugar or sugar substitutes, I know there's got to be some. I've been using vanilla, cinnamon, coconut, and you associate it with sweetness, but it's not. It doesn't raise my blood sugar.
Yeah.
There's got to be more.
Well,
I want to know some too about like the health food stuff. Like, is almond milk really good for you? Because there are some added ingredients in that and stuff like that. When you're trying to find substitutes, should you be making your own almond milk? Is there something that's better? Stuff like that.
Before Coach Aaron takes over, I'm just gonna pair you guys off for your buddies for the week, and this will be your calling buddy. So I'm gonna put Amy and Jennifer. You guys weren't buddies last week, right? Okay. Danielle, Cole, Amy and Anna, Jean. You guys were buddies. Jean and Jake.
So, you got them paired up then, Rue? Okay, guys. So we're gonna move on to the health improving activity. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna have you guys break into pairs, but I want you all to individually go out and scout the grocery store and pick up something you would normally pick up that you think is a healthy meal, a healthy snack, and then I want us to meet in 5 minutes by the restrooms over there, because we need to determine if we need to throw anything away or flush anything down the toilet, depending on what you bring back.
can't be a fruit or a vegetable.
And it cannot be a fruit or a vegetable. What'd you say?
me buy something so we can flush it down the toilet.
Yeah.
So just one thing, like a healthy snack.
Yeah, just
Or healthy
one
food.
thing.
Okay.
One thing. Like one of the best. But I get the they're gluten free. These are the olive oil. She got the sea salt and cracked pepper. These have a little bit more ingredients in them, but I get the coconut oil ones, and the avocado oil. And they only have 3 ingredients. It's avocado oil and potatoes.
It tastes better.
This one has potatoes, olive oil, rice flour, evaporated cane sugar, so there's a little bit of sugar in there. Black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, yeast extract, and spice extract. Again, those things, you know, are not going to be detrimental to your health. It'd be nice if they were organic, but again, for a good, quick snack to munch on, you know what I mean? A good choice. So good job.
That I'm curious about that.
Oh, okay, Quest bar. So she's curious about it.
Let's see it. Hold it up.
This is your Quest bar. And she's curious and I'm curious, so we'll look at the ingredients. They're hiding them underneath this flap. That must mean something. So milk protein isolate and whey protein. Whey protein is a denatured protein made from dairy. Again, that contains that casein foreign protein that could exacerbate some inflammation, could cause some hypothyroid issues, Hashimoto's, things like that. So I know those are some concerns of yours. Pecans, gluten-free oats, unsweetened chocolate, some natural flavors, cocoa butter, sea salt, sucralose, another polysaccharide, and stevia is another artificial sweetener that I would really try to stay away from. But yeah, the Lar bar would be your best choice. Yeah. Who else has anything? Did I get everything? Great. Oh, skinny pop! We got some skinny pop! Woo! I like it. Non-GMO, gluten-free, dairy-free, peanut-free, tree nut-free, preservative-free, no artificial flavors. I would eat this. Ingredients: popcorn, sunflower oil, and salt. Now, sunflower oil is an inflammatory oil. However, the body does need a little bit of inflammation in the body going on, because how does the body heal itself? Inflammation, right? If we don't have inflammation, we don't heal properly. So in minute quantities, you know, for a light snack, not every day, but here and there, you know, yeah. Yeah, it's good. Good job, Danielle. What else you got there? Some oatmeal? Are you looking at the ingredients now? Uh-oh, I didn't. No, so Quakers, yeah, whole grain rolled oats, brown sugar, salt, natural flavor, and caramel color. So the caramel is, well, it's the caramel color that kind of scares me.
Just a rule of thumb, anything that says instant, I would stay away from it.
I just picked it because
The
instant
best
isn't decent.
Yeah, the best oatmeal is actually the cheapest oatmeal. It's the steel cut oatmeal.
Can you make it instantly?
No, it's the long, it takes the longest time.
Make it instantly.
Well,
It's the longest time to grind it down.
again,
Start the night before in a thermos.
Yeah.
Have oats in and then pour a cup of hot water in, and then in the morning it's cooked.
Yeah.
And then you
instant, yeah, you know, it's not that bad, but if you want the best oatmeal, it's but you can,
Yeah.
it's not that bad.
But yeah, I mean, if you were
Well,
like
I
dying
use
of
that
hunger
anyway,
or something, then
You can have the skinny pops and this one.
yeah, if you were dying of hunger and that's all you had, then oh, here's this
I was
back.
wondering where that went.
One for myself. Sounds good. So I want to let you guys know that we have a list of Mandala's ingredients to avoid, and we're gonna post this on the website.
It's already there.
Oh, it's already there.
Yep.
Thanks, Coach Chloe. So it's already there for you guys to review and to look at. It also gives you a description on why it's harmful to your body and stuff. So gives you some details there. So make sure you look at that sometime tonight or sometime in the near future. So when you go shopping your next round, you can really be cautious on the things on your products that you're buying that they're not on this list.
Shot.
Oh, that's a shot. Woo!
So one thing first.
Okay.
So this is just for the daily shopping that we do. Once in a while, if you go out and eat something, do not shoot yourself. Enjoy that. Okay? It's okay once in a while to splurge. So I'm just going to talk briefly, very briefly on trans fats. Most of us already know what trans fats are. Okay.
Can you guys hear him okay back there? Come on. Yeah.
So trans fats, thankfully, they're getting less and less common, but you can still find them in many of the fast food restaurants and stuff like that. But trans fats are just fats in which they artificially add hydrogen. So they hydrogenate them just to increase their shelf life. The problem is when you add hydrogen to the fats, it makes the molecular structure stiff. They become like a stiff, solid thing. The basic function of fat in our body is when you eat them, it goes and it becomes a part of every cell of our body. Every cell becomes a part of every cell. And the main function it goes and becomes a part of the cell membrane. And it gives that flexibility of those cells. The cells are flexible, they can move around, they can go through small structures. And it also is an essential part of the neurons and the nerve lining. So one of the problems, there's so many, but I'll just talk about two. One is when the cells become stiff, they become less responsive to insulin. They increase insulin. You need more insulin to go and make the cell do what the insulin wants. So instead of, say, for example, 10 units of insulin, which will make the cell say, okay, I'll let you in. The gates are closed and stiff, the lock is stiff, the key is going in, but you need a lot of force. That lock is not oiled. So the stiff cell membrane, you need, instead of 10, you need now 100 units of insulin to go and break that door open. So what happens, your pancreas keeps on producing more and more insulin, but just like a car's engine, it's going to give up, and then you're going to develop diabetes. So that's one problem with trans fats. The other problem is, we all know that our neurons, they fire, they have electrical activity because of those membranes which cover those nerves. So, which is called action potential. So when you have trans fats included in the membranes which cover the neuron and the neuronal sheaths, that the fastness of that action potential, that the speed with which that impulse goes decreases significantly because we have lost that flexibility. So for example, the impulse which takes 1 microsecond now will take 3 to 4 microseconds, and that can make a difference between life and death sometimes. You touch something, your response is immediate. If your nerves are damaged, you won't know. That's why diabetics, they have this neuropathy. And I'm just giving an example. It does not mean that they're because of trans fat, but it's just an example that they can step on a very warm, burning coal and they won't feel it because the nerves are damaged. Same thing trans fats can do to your nerves. Trans fats have been conclusively associated with having stroke, heart disease, and peripheral vascular disease, among so many other things. They are extremely pro-inflammatory. They cause all the inflammatory markers, especially 2 of them, the tumor necrosis factor and the interleukin 6. These are the 2 strongest inflammatory markers. They just go skyrocket when you take trans fats. So these are a few things. So trans fats, very few of them are good, and those are called the natural trans fats. And you can find it in small amount in organic grass-fed beef. They're present in lean meat, in game, wild game. So those are beneficial trans fats. But the ones that we see all around us, they are not the ones that we're talking about. Okay,
Right.
that's
So-
it.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Shaw. And the same thing with like, so hydrogenated oils, like, you know, there's hydrogenated oil. So again, one of the leading precursors are heart disease. Heart disease is the #1 killer in America, guys. So if you look at it, it's really because of all the food that, you know, we think is okay for us to eat. So we're going to, go ahead.
It's not going to say has trans fat, it's going to say hydrogenated.
Hydrogenated oil.
Either partially or hydrogenated. And the simple reason, just remember inflammation. It just creates havoc among the immune system. And that's the cause for heart disease, stroke, depression, mood disorders is inflammation. So many people who really live on trans fats.
Grocery store that we have in the area. But with right for now. But we need to look at food and processed foods, and you know, we're finding the best foods here, but still these are processed foods, like that Larabar, for example. And we need to look at food as energy. And so how we eat food now in the last 50 years has changed more in the last 50 years than it has in the last 10,000 years. And even though the food that we're eating, we're maybe finding the better options, we need to change what our normal is. Okay, so yes, this food is faster, it's convenient, but we need to be looking at how we can change our minds. So whether that be starting a garden or finding local farmers you can buy food from. And you know, we need to look at it as this food that we put in our bodies turns into, you know, we digest it and it turns into our cells, which becomes our energy. It becomes who we are, how we think, and everything. So make sure that you're putting in, and it doesn't have to be like the recipes you make, they don't have to be anything fancy or special. It's taking those original foods, the ones that have the energy, and turning them into something that you can enjoy. So just keep that in mind. And why processed foods became something to begin with is because, you know, we have food that can feed 10 people. Well, how can we divide it to feed 100? So we're adding wheat, soy, corn, vegetable oils to provide for many people. And so just remember that when you're picking up anything that's from a box, a bag, that try to go for the original source. And now we're going to go into produce, right? Is that what we're doing next?
Yeah.
Okay. So would you mind handing out? We have
Coach
guys
Chloe
wanna
has
take
some
one?
handouts for you guys.
I'm sure a lot of you have already seen these before, but I like the size of this card, so you can just throw it in your wallet and check your dirty vegetables and fruits versus your clean ones. I always like to go with the good, better, best. So good would be canned fruits and vegetables, if that's all you can do. Better would be fresh or frozen, and then best would be your organic, especially from a farmer's market. If you can get something that was grown locally, organically, then that's your best option. So not to say that buying frozen isn't okay, because I do it. I know Aaron does it occasionally. Frozen vegetables is better than probably buying fresh, to be honest with you sometimes. So
it is.
And if anybody decides to start a small vegetable garden this spring, I'm doing one, so we can share photos and like compete as to whose looks nicer.
Yeah. I love that.
I'll be all about it. I'll be all about it. I lose at stuff all the time, so everybody has a good chance.
I lost at that a lot.
I've really found roasting vegetables really a joy.
Yeah.
And how much nicer they are and tastier, and they bring out the flavors and even a little sweetness that's there, even with like roasting green beans or something like that.
Yep.
Satisfaction. Think about you grew this is yours.
Well, you
Exactly.
can, I mean, you can do a whole lot at one time if you wanted to, and then take it for lunch.
And I'm doing some testing on myself, and I've cut out gluten for probably almost 2 years, and I'm reintroducing it so I can take the test that Dr. Shaw recommends. And to be honest with you, it just doesn't, like, I pictured myself in sweatpants just like eating cheese and like enjoying it, and it's just not, it's not what I thought it was. Like, it wasn't as enjoyable, or gluten, or, you know, things that I've reintroduced. It just doesn't taste as good anymore. Anyway, we have a Mandala cleanse that we're going to start. Pass those that way. This is going to be totally optional, but anybody that wants to like jumpstart a new eating plan, maybe you want to drop some weight, maybe you just want to feel better, more energy, we're going to start this on February 6th. So I'm giving you this tonight just so you can start thinking about these foods. We have things to eliminate, things to enjoy, things to limit, not necessarily eliminate. And this is something that Dr. Shaw approved of. This is what he suggested, what we've kind of talked about, included on there. So just keep that in mind. We're going to kick it off together as a group February 6th, and it'll go for 2 weeks. After you take these items out for 2 weeks, they say after 10 days, and we as a group did this too, you take out all these ingredients, after 10 days you feel so amazing you'll do anything to keep feeling like this. And then you add one thing back in, you wait 3 days, you add something else back in until you figure out what your triggers are. So if you're not doing Dr. Shaw's tests, I highly recommend it. Even if you are doing Dr. Shaw's tests, you can still join with us.
And you'll notice, sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead.
For instance, like I went gluten, dairy free, and then when we did the cleanse, I looked at it, I was like, oh wow. If you asked me 6 months ago, I'd be like, oh my God, I can't cut all these things out. But you notice you cut one thing out, and then I looked at the list, I was like, oh, this is pretty much how I'm eating, minus the sugar part of it. But
It's going back to the basics of food, for sure.